Hey there. So, one of the most important facts when we're selling property and we're putting together the marketing information for that property is how big is this property? You would think that'd be a very basic fact and that there isn't really a lot of leeway into how a realtor chooses to market that information, but you'd be very surprised. So, let's say we're dealing with a 2,000 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, with no additional structures on the property. Okay, that's 2,000 square foot house. If it's listed at $2 million, that's $1,000 a square foot. Easy. What if it's a 1,600 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but there is an additional structure on the property? Maybe a guest house that's 400 feet, or maybe there's a guest studio that's 200 feet, and the garage has been converted into a studio, but it has no plumbing, and that's another 200 feet. So 400 extra feet in structures added to the 1,600 feet. What size property is that? Amazingly, there isn't a standard that realtors use when coming up with this information and choosing how they market it. What I like to do is, in most cases, just market the square footage of the interior of the house. So in the case I just mentioned, if it's 1,600 feet plus two extra structures, this is a 1,600 square foot house. Obviously, in the description, we're going to talk about those additional structures. They are marketable and they have value, but that square footage and additional structures does not, in my view, count to the total interior square footage of the main house. And more importantly, it doesn't count to an appraiser either. They look at the interior square footage of the house itself. They do, of course, give value to additional structures, but if it's a 1,600 square foot main house with two or three or one extra structures, this is a 1,600 square foot house. Sometimes you'll see agents roll all of the square footage into the total that gets marketed because it helps keep the price per square foot lower, makes it look a little more attractive. And to be fair, all of that square footage is usable, but I think it helps all parties involved for the buyer to know how big that main house is in square footage, and then have an understanding of the size of those additional structures that are detached from the main house. Hope that helps. You would think that the size of the property you're looking at is a basic fact, but sometimes you have to dig a little deeper to get the truth. Thanks.